person, MVP, which is awesome, and what have you. So, sorry, another piece of housekeeping which I forgot. So just to make sure that people don't have to scribble heaps of notes, we are going to record and provide a transcript for the meeting, so that'll be available post the session. So hopefully that is okay with everyone. Just a rough agenda. We've got a bit of time. Normally, herding people in and out of rooms actually takes a bit longer, but we've got an agenda set up. We've got this bit, which I'll shush soon and hand over to Indira, but we're going to do an introduction about what it is, and then we're actually going to go through a hands-on with Indira in terms of the creation of a Lakehouse, ingesting data, transforming it, and then loading it into the Lakehouse, and then connecting, I'm just reading this point, so Lakehouse using SQL analytics endpoints and creating a Power BI report using DirectLake. So you can go along. You might need your own tenancy if you want to do it, but you can obviously do that afterwards as well. So I think a bit of a look and learn, make sure that you are, taking on the points that Indira's going to take through. If there's any questions, please either put up your hand, or if possible, you can put it in the chat, and either we'll answer them through the process, or we do have a bit of time at the end to do a Q&A session, right? So if it's too complex and we can't answer it, we might save it to the end for Indira to go through. I think that's it for me. I'll go to the next slide if that's okay. I think this is the beginning of your session, Indira.
Thanks, Glenn. Okay, this can be an interactive session. And I think the previous slide showed creating the Power BI report. I think there are some issues with the tenant that I'm using. So let's try creating the report. If we cannot create, maybe there is some kind of technical issue, but we'll go till the point of ingesting the data and transforming the data and other stuff. So first of all, what is Microsoft Fabric? I just want this session to be interactive. So if you can please, if anyone can answer from the audience, I can say Amelia, Ganesh, anyone can answer. If you have heard, otherwise I'll take you through that. I'm showing you what Fabric entails. Yeah, it's an analytics platform. Thanks, Uganti. Okay, so yeah, and a complete end-to-end platform, as you can see in this screenshot here. So the story goes like this. I'll just say a few words before I start saying what Microsoft Fabric is. In organizations, a lot of us face this situation, or are still facing this situation where the data engineering, if you speak to the data engineering leads, they say that they are maintaining hundreds of pipelines which copy data between lots of different sources to different destinations, right? And if we speak to the data science leads, they mention that the data is scattered in so many different formats and in different places, and it takes them a lot of time to clean the data sets and then do their data science analysis and things like that. So there is no one source of truth sort of thing for them to do the data science, to run the data science workloads. Same goes with data warehousing leads and other personnel in the company. So in order to resolve all these scenarios, what Microsoft came up is with something called Microsoft Fabric. So what they have done is they have undertaken a complete revamp of the data analytics workflow, and they created a seamless integration of the data factory, Synapse workloads, Power BI, data warehousing, everything. And they built Microsoft Fabric as a software, as a service platform. And here, if you see, the data factory and Synapse data engineering can be run with Spark. and the sources can be in a source called OneLake. You can think of OneLake as a OneDrive for how OneDrive for business. So OneLake is the storage platform for Microsoft Fabric. So anything in OneLake can be analyzed within that particular using these workloads, the data factory workload, or a Synapse data engineering workload, or a data science workload, or a data warehouse workload. And also there is the recent component that came up is the real-time analytics, which was announced in Build, I think 3 weeks ago. And of course, Power BI customers are already transformed into Fabric customers. And you have something called Data Activator as well. So for real-time analytics, you can run some KQL queries, and you use the service telemetry. And in OneLake, you can store the data in an open source format, which is the Delta or Parquet formats, and use them for different purposes. So the serverless compute also is part of Microsoft Fabric. So whatever you are the whatever service loads that you are using here, everything comes under Microsoft Fabric capacity. So, and this capacity licensing is also very user friendly and organization friendly, where you can start with a very less capacity, like F2 capacity or F4 capacity, to start your Fabric journey, and then take it through, scale it up for F8 or F64 and things like that. So for those who are familiar with Power BI licensing, Power BI premium licensing is equivalent to F64 Fabric licensing. Is there any? Yeah. Um, Fabric licensing, and you are just um, you will be paying just the Fabric license part of it, and you are not going to pay for individual Spark clusters or anything like that. Everything that you do within that particular capacity, you will be paying only the standard one, and also you have the capacity to pause the Fabric capacity and restart it, so that you save costs and things like that. So this is, I think this is a very good solution if you are just starting your data journey. You must think of Fabric as one of the options. So that you can scale up if you start off with your data warehousing, start with the Fabric journey, get your data into OneLake, and then use you can use the data flows and pipelines to get the data into your data warehouse, into your Synapse data warehouse, or you can follow the medallion architecture and then go through the bronze, silver, gold. And silver can be used by the data scientists who want to build some models, and then gold layer data can be used by Power BI developers, so that they can generate the Power BI reports. This way, what you find in the organizations is you will have one source of truth in the goal layer, so that Power BI, all the data analysts can plug into the data that is in the goal layer, and then get some insights out of it. Any questions so far? Next slide, Glenn. I think, Glenn, you are controlling the slides, right? Okay. Okay, why should we use Fabric? Okay. Okay, so here, why should we use Fabric is the enterprises have accumulated vast volumes of data from various sources for the same reasons that I have mentioned earlier. So if you need one source of truth, and also if you have large volumes of data and you want to get them together so that the data analysis can happen in the organizations for the success of the organizations, then when the problem lies in the segregation of data, which leads to inconsistencies and discrepancies, you can use these data engineering workloads and then clean the data and separate the data and then get them as usable data into your goal layer. And also, if you want to maintain a single reliable source of information, one source of truth, then you can then that is when you can use Microsoft Fabric. And yeah, and business units tend to guardrail their vital performance metrics, creating barriers to transparent information. So in that case, also you can expose what is needed, the data, what is needed into the goal layer, so that you can do your data analytics using Microsoft workloads. So you can do the end-to-end part of it in Microsoft Fabric. Next. Okay, who can use Microsoft Fabric? So as you have seen in the screenshot, in the earlier screenshot, anyone can use Microsoft Fabric out of these. So data analysts come into the end part of it, Power BI developers and data analysts. It starts off with the data engineers, getting the data from the source data to to OneLake, and then from OneLake um, exposing the data to the goal layer, where Power BI developers and data analysts can plug um, into the goal layer data source. Data architects and database administrators and even solution architects can also use Fabric for configuring the Microsoft Fabric and putting some guardrails to who needs to access what kind of data. And yeah, these are the personas that who can use Microsoft Fabric. Next slide, Glenn. Okay, now I think we can go to the demo. But before going to the demo, I want to run through the prerequisites. I think I have a prerequisite slide. I should have put the prerequisite slide before. Yeah. Okay, so before we start, we need to your organization need to enable Fabric in your organization. And also, if you are not yet signed up, you need to sign up for a free trial. And for free trial, you need to get you need to have a work account or a school account. So and then once you have these two, the top two, then you will have you can create a new workspace that belongs to the Fabric trial. Okay, now I think now I'll take over, Glenn.
Yep, all yours.
Thank you. Okay, how do we get into Fabric? Anyone, any idea? How do we get into Power BI? Any Power BI developers? Uganti, you can tell me. Chat, or you can. Yeah, it's not just powerbi.com, it's app.powerbi.com. Okay, so let's go to app.powerbi.com, or you can go, I think, app.fabric.microsoft.com. You can go either way. I'm going to go through app.powerbi.com. And once you go into that, since I have signed in, my sign in automatically took it. Otherwise, you will get a sign in page where you need to sign in. And here in the Power BI, I'll just go through the interface a little bit. So in this interface, you see this left hand, what do you call, some left hand menu items where you can see all the workspaces, my workspace, and you have metrics and apps, and you have this OneLake data hub as well. And you can create from here as well, or you can create from here. So I'm going to use Fabric workspace, but before that, I want to show you how to create a new workspace. I'm not going to create a workspace, but I'm just going to show you how to create a new workspace. So for that, go into workspace and then you can go into new workspace on the left hand side, new workspace. And here you give a name, and let's say I'm just going to create some name, and you can give a description of the name. And if you have some domains, you can give the domains. At the moment, I'm just going to leave it like that, and you can indicate that you can upload an image indicating that that is the workspace. Now here you can create a workspace using this trial. This trial is Microsoft Fabric trial, which is free for 60 days, where you can create all those data factory, data engineering, data warehousing, real-time intelligence, all these workloads. Okay, so I'm just not going to apply here. I'm just going to cancel. Now, so I'm going to go to my Fabric workspace and see the look of how the Fabric workspace is. Fabric workspace is with a diamond icon, so that indicates that it's a Fabric workspace. Now here I have a lot of items. Let's not worry about what we have. Let's first thing is in a Fabric workspace, what we need is, because we okay, before we go there, I need to show you this one. So at the left hand bottom corner, you see Power BI here. And if you click on that, just left click, see these are all the workloads that you can see. So you can go to data engineering, you can go to data science, data warehouse, or there are some industry solutions which are I think there are three industry solutions. One is healthcare, the other one is retail, and I can't remember the other. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, retail sustainability solutions. These are the three industry solutions that are there. So you can start with those as a start. You can use those as a starting point, and then build on those industry solutions. So you can get started with a retail solution or a sustainability solution. We are not going to cover that today. So here, if we want to go through the data engineering, so let's go to the data engineering, and you have the data factory as well and Power BI. Okay, so if you come from app.powerbi.com, the default will go to Power BI. Now I'm going to data engineering. So once you go into data engineering, so here is what you can create in the data engineering workload. So you can create a new Lakehouse, notebook, a new environment, Spark job definition, data pipeline, all these you can create. And so now we'll start creating maybe another, yeah, in the current workspace, it is showing as Fabric workspace. So now in this Fabric workspace, I'm going to create a new Lakehouse. So it is easy for us to create. It's a new Lakehouse. So I'm just going to create a new Lakehouse, and I'm just going to give it a name called Valley Data Talks as my name of the Lakehouse. And while that is creating, okay, so now the Lakehouse is created. Let's go through a little bit here. So here we just created the Lakehouse. So what is part of the Lakehouse is it has tables and it has files. So tables will be like a structured tables, rows and columns, and files can be your unstructured files. So now once the data Lakehouse, the Lakehouse is created, what we will do is we will uh, create a data flow and then import a CSV file. That's the thing that we are going to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is instead of uploading files, if I upload files, what happens is it goes and sits in this one. So I don't want to do that. I have, let me show you what I have in which I'm trying to import. So yeah, Okay, so this is what I'm planning to import, dimension customer CSV. Okay, so that is what I want to import. So the way to import is for me to create a new data flow Gen2. And what this will do is for Power BI, for Power BI developers, this is a very uh, known interface, very familiar interface, because this is Power Query Online. So now any Power BI people, so what I want to do is I want to get that CSV. I have that CSV in my local file. How do I, and that CSV, it is a CSV file. So what do I need to click in order to import that here? The answer is on the screen. Anyone can answer. Get data, yes. Import from CSV file, yes. Very good. Thanks for those who are answering. Yeah, okay. So you can use either get data, which has a lot of connectors. And because the file format is in CSV, I can use text or CSV. Or I can also use this one because this is a link, GitHub link. I can use web here, web page, and then do that as well. But now, for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on, yeah, here also I can give the link. Now, what I want to do is I want to click on upload file and then browse for the data and choose my dimension customer, and then can you see this, see what's happening, the get data screen? Okay, I'm just going to go next and okay, it's just loading and then preview the data. So, and then I'm just going to create. Now we can see dimension customer 2 table has been created. You can see this, right? I think you can see. Yeah, okay, thanks. Thanks, Amelia. Okay, so now that is the dimension customer table that is being loaded. Because, and I can rename this in this name area. And then if we want to do any transformations, I'll go through these transformations. You can manage connections here. I'm just keep clicking on that, and then you can manage connections here. If you have some parameters, so for example, if you have your dev, test, and prod environments, then what you can do is you can create a new parameter and then say that that is the source. And then you might have different connections, different, let's say, server names for dev, test, and prod. So you can create that as a parameter and call it as source, and then default it to dev when you are developing. And then when you are following the CI/CD, then you can change the parameters in the service itself so that it loads the test data when it is in the test environment, and when it is in the prod environment, it loads the prod environment once you give the once you change the parameter of source to prod environment. So that is one of the examples of how you can use parameters. And here you can refresh, and advanced editor is where all the coding that automatically happens of all the steps that you are doing. If you want, you can just write this code. And can anyone tell me what language is this? Power BI developers, whoever is on the call. Yeah. Okay, so with parameters, basically tagging the data, whether, yeah, yes, Tushar. Okay, so now I just wanted to show you how M language is there. So now, okay, dimension customer. Okay, now, uh, okay, now here, if you want to choose columns, you can choose columns or go to column. You can use that. If you want to remove columns, if you can remove unnecessary columns, right? So you can remove unnecessary columns. Lineage key, let's say I don't want it, so I can just right click and remove that column. Okay. And if you want to filter rows, that also you can do. And if you sometimes you might want to remove remove top rows. See, for example, I don't want this row because that is not serving any purpose for me. So what I'll do is I'll just go and remove top rows, and then I'll just give one as the um, I'll just give one um, as the number of rows to be removed, and then I can remove that. So once that is removed, whatever action that we are taking, it appears in this area, in the applied steps area. So we have imported from the source. So this if you go into this one, see, it will show you the source. It has come from OneDrive, so it is coming from it is showing that. And then once the source has been imported, it identified that the first row had headers. So that's automatically it promoted the headers. And then I think some of the columns type, the data type has been changed to integer. If you look at this in this one. And then the last action that we performed, the remove top one row, that has been added here. So um, whatever action you take, it will be added here. And if you want to undo some action, you can just Control Z doesn't work here. So you can just click on these ones and make sure that each step is working. So uh, if it is just a change type, you can delete this one in the middle, but it's advisable to not delete something in the middle. Even if you delete a step, make sure that if you come to the last step and the data is displayed, otherwise you will break something. Now let's say, for example, okay, yeah. So these are and then you can filter rows based on some customer key and things like that, which we are not doing. And these are all you can split the column. So for example, I can see that this one, buying group, just maybe bill to customer, there is a head office, right? You can split everything that is starting with so for example, I just show you, I won't split it, but I'll just show you. So if I split this one by delimiter, then the delimiter is not comma here, but there is a what do you call it? If you go to custom, you will have this see this one. And and then you can you can even go advanced and say, I don't want each occurrence of the delimiter, I just want the leftmost. And then this will split into two columns, saying wingtip toys is one column and head office will be in another column. So that kind of stuff can be done. So that is split. And yeah, and under combine, what you can do is you can merge two tables. Merge two tables means always merge is you are adding more columns to the table. So if you, for example, if you have a product table and a product category table, that's when you can merge tables. Merge means always adding new columns. So those two tables can be merged based on a particular ID, product ID or something like that. But when you say append queries means you are appending two tables. So one table, let's say you have two tables. One is Australia sales and the other one is US sales. And you want one table as sales table. So what you can do is you can click on append queries new, and then once you do that, you can either uh, put three or more tables or two tables, and then choose your first table and your second table. Because we don't have a second table, I'm not able to choose, but you can choose your Australia sales table and US sales table, and then create that as a new one. But make sure your columns are in the same order. And even if you have an extra column in one of the tables, what happens is both of the tables will be appended into a new table, but the column that is missing in one of the tables will be null. And then that you can replace it. If you know that that is Australia sales, then the nulls can be replaced by Australia, or some if there is a country column missing in one of the tables. So that is the use of append. So append is always creating new rows, and merge is always creating new columns. So that is the difference between those two. And if we go to the transform, you have some of the transform things that you can do. So use first row as headers, we already have seen in the second step here. Sometimes due to the settings of the Power Query, sometimes this does not happen automatically. That's when you can choose, if you go here or if you go here, you can choose that, use first row as headers. And you can transpose. Transpose is sometimes what you need is, if you want to uh, put rows as columns and columns as rows, that's when this is used. And if you want to reverse rows, you can use that. And now let's see count rows. So for example, here it is showing as columns 11 and rows 99 plus. So it just shows the 100 rows in Power Query Online as the preview. But if you want to know the actual number of rows, if you just go count rows and then cancel. I'm coming to the last step and then doing the count rows so that I can delete that off. So see, there are 402 customers in this particular table. But if I continue with this one, my data doesn't work, because when you just do this and then save it, what happens is it just has this particular number. It won't show all the columns like this. So I'm just deleting this particular step so that we have all these columns, because we need these columns for people to use. Okay, so now this part is done. Okay, transform is done. You can pivot and unpivot tables, and also you can split columns as I have shown you. And yeah, okay, so those are the ones. And you can also add columns. Add columns, I'll just maybe show you an example and delete it. So for example, again, I'm going to, let's say primary contact. Okay, so in the primary contact, I'll highlight the primary contact and then say column from examples from selection. So because I selected primary contact. So now what I'll do is I'll just try and say, let's say I'll start typing the S E E N A M U A N G. I need to change the S to S. Now when I hit enter, see, it is recognizing that I want everything that is after the space. So that's what it is. It has created and automatically recognized from the examples that I have given. So that's, if you say okay, then that will be created. I'm just going to say cancel, and you can give a custom column, and then use you can give that. You can create an index column if you need an index column. Index column is nothing but it just gives you a 1 2 3 4 5. So here it will be 402 rows. So 1 to 402 will be numbers will appear in that column, index column. You can rank the column, and yeah, you can duplicate the column. All those things you can do. And here, if you go, okay, query settings, you don't have much here. So data view. Yeah, okay. So if you in the data view, for example, if you enable the column profile, you can see the column profile. Yeah, here it is, I think. Column profiling based on, no, I don't think it's appearing here. Usually it appears in the top here. So we can't, for some reason, we can't see it. So let's not do it. Okay. So, and also you can see these ones as well, but for some reason that is not appearing. Yeah, that's not appearing here. Okay. Yeah, so that is an overview, high level overview of what happens in the Power Query online. And this is the data flow. And yeah, I'm going to rename this to LEDF. Rename. So that it's easy for us to work with. Okay. I've renamed that. And now one more thing that we need to do is, in order to appear this, for us to appear this data, this dimension underscore customer into in our Lakehouse, what we need to do is we have to choose a destination. See, here there is a destination on the bottom right corner. Here, if you click um, on the settings, so here you can choose the Lakehouse. We are not creating a existing one. So edit connection. If you go to the edit connection, yeah, okay, so that is done. Okay, if you go to next, now you can choose from here, you can choose which workspace, which Lakehouse you want to publish this dimension customer to. So I'm choosing the Fabric workspace because I have created my Lakehouse in Fabric workspace. And what did I name? Yeah, I named it as Valley Data Talks. So this is what I'm going to choose. And then click on next. So it's validating the destination, and then I'm just saving the settings here. So it is giving me what the source data is, and then the destination data is. So everyone can see, right? So now I am saving the settings. Now, once I am happy with that, what I will do is I'm just going to publish it. So you can publish now or publish later. I'm just publishing this one. Okay, now it got published. Okay, so now what is happening is our Lakehouse is here, and in the Lakehouse we have the semantic model and the SQL analytics endpoint, which when we went to the Lakehouse, we saw the tables and files, right? So uh, that is the Lakehouse, and this is the data flow that we have created. And it is still, because it's still running, it is getting refreshed. Once that refresh is completed, then what we will see is, we will, in the Lakehouse, in the tables form, yeah, see, this is getting refreshed, and this is the if you look at this one, it is loading the preview. Okay, so now it has loaded the preview, and it is showing 402 rows. Now, if you want to use SQL endpoint, we have seen. So here there is a drop down where now we are seeing the Lakehouse. And if you want to see the SQL endpoint, you can just click on the SQL analytics endpoint. And here, if we go to new SQL query, see, this is something similar to the warehouse that you see. Now, if you want to write a query, select top, then start from dimension underscore customer and run this query. This is going to give you this one. Or you can chat with this using the SQL queries. Let's say, for example, let's try and summarize maybe by buying group. So I want number of customers by buying group from dimension customer. And if I run this, what happens? Is any SQL people here? Does this work, or does this give me a error? Yes or no? Any guesses? I'm using count of star and buying group. No SQL professionals here. Okay, then because I'm using an aggregation here, what I need to do is I need to group by. Because we are doing an aggregation, there should be a group by clause. And here I'm using the group by, and let me just group by, and I want to group by this one because that is not under aggregation. So if I do that, so there are 4 buying groups: toddler toys, wingtip toys, kids toys, and tailspin toys. And then you have this, because I didn't give any name to the column, it came as untitled. And the number, so number of toddler toys are 24, and 201, and 15, and 163, and the total will be 402. So that is how we can do the SQL analytics endpoint. Now, if we want to do the, what do you call, the Power BI report, you need to ensure that you do that, you declare that as the default Power BI semantic model. So if I go here and then just select it, I don't have much of a model here, but I'll just go and choose whatever I have, dimension customer, and then I'll confirm that. And let's see if the okay, so now we have confirmed that. So now if I go into the Lakehouse again, let's go to the Lakehouse. And let me go to the Fabric workspace and let's try and create a, let me try and create this is my semantic model. So you can use the semantic model to create a report, because from morning I was trying to create a report, but it was giving me an error. Let's see how it works now. So because I gave the default semantic model, you can either use a create report or analyze in Excel or auto create report or create a paginated report. So what I will do is I'll just try and auto create. Let's see whether it works. Okay, generating your report. Your report is ready. So see, that is what it has created with just one table. So So whoever is Power BI, who is Power BI developers, maybe they need to think, what can I do to improve this report or something like that. So what this has given is actually this, if it is done manually, we would not be doing this kind of analysis, right? For customer, who would want count of postal codes? Who would want count sum of customer keys? So that's where human intervention is needed. So this is an example of where human intervention is needed. But you can utilize this one. Instead of sum of customer ID, maybe count would have been good, so that you would have got the um, analysis that we have done in the SQL endpoint. Similarly, you can't have lineage key. What this report has done is, whatever is in the integer um, data type, it has summarized with that, and then because the dimension thought that there is only one dimension, which is the buying group, it has given that uh, use that particular dimension, and then gave it this. And I think this has also used some smart narrative um, visual to create this summary as well, which is actually not true. So this is what I wanted to show. I thought it would not work, but yeah, I think it has worked. So yeah, this is a quick report, and also you can save it if you want, or edit it and uh, do the magic. So this is what I wanted to show. Uh, any questions? Messages. Yes, Sebastian, very good. Lupa is missing. Yes. Okay, any questions? Did anyone follow through? I don't think I have. I went very fast, right?
I just had a quick question actually. In regards to reports, is it just this auto-generated report? What other type of reports would we generate with Fabric?
Mostly Power BI reports, because
Okay.
it uses Power BI. Yeah, that's the engine that it uses. So mostly Power BI reports. So if we go, for example, uh, Glenn, we do have time, right? So maybe I'll just do um, another import of some good data, and then maybe we can.
Yep, go for it.
I'll just save this as the lead report. Customer. I'm just saving, and let's go through the data flow again, and then I will import another file called I import a Parquet file this time. So I'm just going to go here and go to my Lakehouse, and then again I'm just creating another data flow. And this time I'm importing from a Parquet file, Power Query template, which I have downloaded, I think 3 or 4 months ago. Let's try that. So this is the Power Query template. So here you have some more dimensions. Okay, so maybe this is not working. Let's try. Okay, this is working. Very good. Okay, everything is coming up. See here, I mentioned about parameters, right? So these are the functions, and I think in these functions there is a file name as the parameter. So I'll show you manage parameters. Let's see. No, there is no. Okay, this is just a function. Okay, Power Query function. Okay, now what I will do is I will this is a Power Query template where there is raw, which is this has the medallion architecture a little bit. So this has a staging area, load area, and transformation area. I think this is the goal layer for us. So what I'll do is I'll configure this, the fact online sales, dim product, and dim customer. These are and dim date. These are the tables that I'm going to import into our Lakehouse. So in order to do that, what should I do? Can anyone remember? So this is my source and I want to configure the destination. What can anyone tell me how to add that as a destination? How to add my Lakehouse as a destination? You can unmute or type. Yes, Ganti, I will share that with you. Okay, so no one remembers, looks like. So what we need to do is, this is our source. And here, remember, we did the destination part where we need to choose the Lakehouse destination. And here, because we already have done the, let me go and check that the connection is still the Valley Lakehouse. So I just go into into next and then choose yeah, that the table name, I just want to use the same thing, but I want to choose Valley Data Talks as the destination. So I need to do that for all the tables that I am creating. So I want to create dim customer. I'll do the same thing for dim product. So I just go here, next, and then choose the Valley Data Talks, and then keep the same format and then save. And then choose the same thing for fact online sales, because now we can create a dimensional model. So you can go to Fabric Workspace and then Valley Data Talks and then go next and then save settings. And I also want to import date. So let's go and import the date as well into our Lakehouse. Fabric Workspace and Valley Data Talks and next. And then I'm saving the settings. Now, what's the next step? We have defined the source and destination. How do we get that into Lakehouse? Get these 4 tables into Lakehouse. Yes, thanks, Sebastian. Publish. So I'm going to publish now. Okay, now once we publish, remember the data flow runs. So this is the data flow. It is our data flow. Was it called? Oh, we didn't name the data flow. Okay, that's called data flow 19. See, this is refreshing. Okay. So while that is refreshing, maybe we can no, we can't rename. So let this run, and then yeah, just maybe we'll give a couple of minutes, and four tables. Okay, while that is going on, let's go to the Fabric database, Fabric Workspace, and go to our Lakehouse. We need to refresh. Okay, see, it's still coming. Let's okay, now, oh, okay, this has loaded. I think the default has picked up everything as Lakehouse, and then it has loaded everything. So that's okay. Now, what we can do is we can let's look at the semantic model that it has created. So if we go to the let's look at this semantic model. And this semantic model, let's explore data and then let's see. Okay, this has only dimension customer. So what we need to do is we need to create another semantic model. So let's go here. And then here you can see, and then now we can just choose what tables we want. So I'm just choosing the dim customer, dim date, and fact online sales, and where is my product? A dim product, yeah. So those are the only ones that I want, and I will name this as Valley dimensional model, and then just confirm it. So from the Lakehouse tables, you can create a new semantic model. Once that creates, let's try and do the auto create again. Okay, so now, so now we have just chosen the tables, but in order to do a semantic model, we need some, what do we need for this to work? Any Power BI experts here? I'm giving you clues. So, cardinality, managed relationship, very good. Modeling, well done, very good. Okay, so some others said something. Yes, yeah. We will be sharing the recording mark. Okay, so now customer key from dim customer will be linking to fact online sales, because fact is it's happened not available. Why is that? Anyway, I'm saving this relationship, and also how will we link the dim product and fact online sales? I'm expecting an answer. Thank you, Aparna. Okay, product key and product key. This is also one to many or many to one, depending on the direction. Saving that, and what about dim date and fact online sales? Date key, yeah. Thank you, Aparna. Okay, so I'm just going to drag from here to here. And then I'm just saying there. so no worries. Yeah, you can save that. So we have now, what schema is this? Yes, very good, star schema. Okay, so now what should we do? Yeah, I think let's try and search for. Let's go to the Fabric Workspace and then try for the lead. Okay, so this is the dim model. Let's say we will refresh the data because I couldn't see the data. So let's refresh the data. Yeah, I think the data is refreshed now. Let's try and auto create the report, because now we have some meaningful data, right? Earlier we didn't have any meaningful data. We just imported a dimension customer. So now you can either click on pre-select data. We don't, or you can now before we selected the data, the report is already available. So here you have sum of sales amount, sum of discount amount, sum of return amount. This doesn't make sense, so we can remove that. And sum of sales amount by delivery date. So you have again this smart narrative, and sum of return amount by delivery date. This doesn't make sense, so you can remove that. And discount amount by delivery date. So how much discount was made available on each date? So 7th, I think it's US dates, right? So maybe it could be 12th of July. Lot of discount was made available compared to other dates. And here, if we look the weekend, yeah, maybe it's Jan. Yeah, 3rd of Jan, lot of sales happened. So that kind of insights you can get from this report. This is the quick summary, and then you can start with this report as the basis, and then you can go edit, and then you can do your Power BI magic there. So that concludes my data engineering part end-to-end solution. Yeah, and if you have any questions, now is the time to ask.
Thanks, Indira. I wasn't putting my hand up to ask a question, by the way. I was just seeing if anyone else did. That was pretty good. Sorry, that was really good. Everyone on the audience, the data engine people, even the sales team like me, have been through a similar process. It's comparatively easy when you get walked through it, I'd have to say. Comparatively. Any questions, team? Okay, very good. I think that's it for the session. Thank you very much for attending, everyone, and spending your time with us. Thank you hugely to Indira again. Well done in terms of navigating live demos, always fraught with danger. I think that went exceedingly well, so well done. We will try and get information to you, either the video or whatever else. So I think Sparshi might be picking that up, but enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for your attendance.